Gatorland रेल यात्रामा हिँडिरहेको छौँ। यो Gatorland sports.
All right, folks, let me welcome everybody out here to Gatorland. My name is Brett. I'll be your train engineer. As we take this trip, I'm going to tell you about the history of Gatorland. We do indeed have a pretty cool history. We are the oldest attraction in Central Florida, started in 1949 by the late Owen Godwin and his wife Pearl. Now, when they first opened up the park, Gatorland wasn't called Gatorland. Gatorland was actually called the Florida Fish and Wildlife Institute. Well, that name really didn't work out too well. Sounded more like a government building or a school or something like that. So we changed the name to Snake Village, which seemed to be a good idea, but you gotta understand, this was back in the 1950s, and back then snakes weren't really on anybody's list of favorite animals. People kind of drove by the park faster. So he came up with Gatorland, and Gatorland's what stuck. And now that he had a park, he had a name for his park, and figured out a way to market his park. So he got himself an old World War II ambulance. He painted it bright orange, put a huge alligator inside a trailer behind the ambulance, and then traveled up and down the East Coast of the United States, doing the festival and fair circuit, charging 10 cents a head to come in and see his alligator. And with that money, he came back, paid off a few debts, bought more land, and then traveled the globe looking for new animals to bring back to his park. Incidentally, when he was driving past the property back in the mid-40s, he took a look at it and said, "That's perfect." So he went to the county and asked how much they wanted for it. They said $300. So him and two of his buddies stocked up $100 each, and Gatorland was born. And since that time, we're going from 16 acres all the way up to 110. Folks, we are now entering into jungle crocs of the world. We got a bunch of different species of crocodile back here. Coming up here to the right-hand side is Morton and Sheila. Those are saltwater crocodiles from Australia. The saltwater crocodiles are the largest species of crocodile in the entire world. Record length, 23.5 feet long. Now, our largest saltwater crocodile isn't near as big, but he can probably do about the same amount of damage. And that's Dundee. So he's coming up here to the right-hand side. He's about 13 feet long, weighs about 1,000 pounds.
यहाँ पनि रहेछ crocodile.
Take a journey through jungle crocs. Take a look at all the crocodiles back here. Owen's first crocodile was an American crocodile. That's right, folks. We do have crocodiles found right here in the United States. You see, there was a shrimping boat off the coast of West Palm Beach that threw their nets out and accidentally snagged an American crocodile. Yeah, can you imagine the look on their faces as they pulled on their catch, and there's a huge crocodile in there. Well, that crocodile became the property of Gatorland, where he became the largest crocodile in captivity in the entire world at 17 feet long. Owen had an ongoing bet that lasted all the way till his death in 1975. He said that if anybody found a bigger crocodile than his anywhere else in the world in some other zoo, he'd give $1,000. He never lost that $1,000. Alright, folks, we're now entering into Piney Woods. Piney Woods is kind of a wild area here at Gatorland, kept in its natural state. Keep your eyes open for animals. You never know what you'll see back here. In the meantime, you see this structure about ready to go under? This is called a chipee. Now, chipee in the Seminole Indian language means my house. That's right, folks. This is the type of structure Seminole Indians lived in many, many years ago. Of course, there's a wall. Some of them still do down in South Florida. Now, most of the southeastern United States all used to be Seminole Indian territory a few hundred years ago. Until some dumb war broke out in the year 1704, which unfortunately forced the Native Americans off of their native land. We built this as a tribute to the Seminole Indians, because not only does Florida have a huge history of them, but Gatorland as well. Some of Owen Godwin's dearest friends were Seminole Indians that actually helped him open up the park. Now, we do have some cattle back there. The cattle that you'll see are called cracker cattle, or scrub cattle. Very old breed of cattle. Also a very small breed of cattle. You see them over here to the right-hand side. They were brought to Wisconsin a little over 500 years ago with the Spaniards that explored this area. And over here to the left-hand side, is a cracker cabin. Cracker cabins used to not the landscape way back in the day. What they were just empty houses along the herding trails. They're just placed for the cattlemen, otherwise known as crackers, to stop, maybe cook themselves up some supper. All in all, it's like a little rest stop along the highways of today.
मयूर के अरे ठुलो चित्रा हैन
चित्रा हो कि कुनै के सारस हो कि के
सारस हैन चित्रा
Folks, we're now exiting the Piney Wood area, heading into the southern end of the park. Down here we have Pearl Smokehouse, our alligator wrestling arena, our swamp walk. There is a train station coming up, folks, but we're not going to be stopping. We're just going to go right on through. Please keep your body parts inside the train as we go through the train station. Over there to the left-hand side, folks, that's our cracker-style Gator Wrestling Arena. Next show there is going to be at 3:30. Make sure you guys check it out. But there's that word cracker again, and of course the crackers were the cattlemen. The cowboys used to herd cattle across the state farm. They used to use bullets to move their cattle, hence the name cracker. Well, they had to deal with alligators a lot because the cattle used to get taken by them, so they had to learn how to wrestle them and control them and move them from here to there. They got so good at it, they did it just for fun, and that's what that show was all about. Coming up here to the left-hand side, folks, is our up-close encounters area. That's also a pretty cool show. What we do is we bring out boxes, and we put them in the stands with you guys, and we put them on the stage. You know what's inside the boxes? Well, we're not quite sure till we open them up in front of you. So expect the unexpected. And coming up here to the left-hand side, folks, is our normal everyday run-of-the-mill petting zoo. You know, a whole bunch of goats. Get on over there and feed them, and in return, they'll give you a whole handful of raisinets. Don't even release it.
अब त्यो माथि चढेर बस्छ त्यो बाख्राहरू मुखहरू हानेर त्यस्तो बनाइरहेको छ
And over here on your right-hand side is our 10-acre alligator breeding marsh. Got a whole bunch of romancing going on in there. There's 130 alligators in there, 100 females and 30 males. It's also Central Florida's largest wading-bird rookery. Take a look through the foliage, and it does open up here in just a second. You're going to notice a lot of birds. This is the time of year we start getting an influx of wading birds that come here every year to raise their young above the alligators. And you might be asking yourself, why the heck do the birds roost above alligators? Well, it's pretty simple. I mean, if your house was completely surrounded by alligators, somebody would try and break in. Well, it's the same reasoning. See, no predators can get through the gators to get at the birds. And every now and then, an alligator is actually able to grab a bird or two. So that makes it a symbiotic relationship. They both benefit. The alligators benefit because they're able to eat the birds. The birds benefit because they're protected by the alligators, which is kind of ironic and contradictory, but it is true. Then again, the alligators do have a couple of good jobs out in the wild. They play a very, very important role in the ecosystem of Florida. First of all, they are the apex predator. That's right, folks, they are the top predator of Florida. They're also the custodians of nature as well. They clean up the environment of any sick, injured, or dead wildlife. Alright, folks, right around the corner is our main train station. Sure enough, you enjoy a little train ride. Folks, don't forget, coming up here in just a few minutes is the Gator Jump Brew Show. That's towards the front of the park. Coming up at 2:30 is the Up Close Encounter Show. And then coming up at 3:30 is the Gator Wrestling Show. So make sure you guys check out all the shows. Other than that, folks, as we enter into the train station again, make sure you keep all your body parts inside the train exiting only on the right-hand side. Folks, if you look up, you're going to notice the ceiling, but more importantly, that ceiling is really, really low. If you stand up really quick, you'll knock yourself out, so don't do that. Watch your head. Watch your step as you exit the train. And then, folks, we do appreciate y'all coming out to Gatorland today. Enjoy the rest of your day.